people in Canada are liking becoming our beautiful, cherished 51st state. They'll have to pay much lower taxes. They'll have the ultimate security. You know, they don't pay very much for security right now because they rely on us, which is really unfair to us. They make cars that we could make, and they send them back into the United States. They make a lot of things, including the sending of oil and everything. We don't need their oil. We don't need their lumber. In fact, we're going to be freeing up, and I've asked Howard Lutnick to get that done with Lee and everybody, Lee Zeldin, environmental. We're freeing up our forests. We're going to be able to take down trees. Right now, you know, we're so restricted environmentally. We're going to be freeing it up with an emergency order. We have an emergency order, and we're going to be freeing up our forests. We have more forests than almost anybody, and great lumber, great trees. We don't need anybody's trees. We don't need trees from Canada or anybody else. In fact, we have to put the slits, as they call them, the area, you know, 50, 60-yard area in between areas of trees. It stops the fires. And
hey everyone, welcome back to Conservative Chronicle. Today we've got a huge topic to dive into, one that might change the future of North America. Donald Trump has shared some thoughts on a surprising idea, Canada becoming the 51st state of the United States. Yeah, you heard that right. Could this actually happen? Is it just a pipe dream, or is there some real movement behind it? Stick around as I break it all down. Before I get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the latest updates. Let's jump right into it. So, here's the deal. Last week, Trump revealed that there's actually a movement in Canada that could see parts of the country like Alberta, Saskatchewan, and even British Columbia potentially joining the US as its 51st state. This isn't just some random political talk either. Trump had a conversation with Canadian government officials about the idea. They said there's a clear path forward, and Alberta would be the first province to join. Imagine that, a whole new addition to the US expanding our borders northward. But what would that mean for the US and for Canada? Let's break it down. According to Trump, there are some solid reasons why Canada would benefit from becoming a part of the US. For one, Canadians would pay much lower taxes, which is a huge incentive. Let's face it, who doesn't like lower taxes? Trump also emphasized the security aspect, right?
frankly, California should have been doing that for years. It's almost getting late. They're going to run out of forests the way they're going. What a shame. And by the way, the water is flowing in California. I hope you people have seen it, but the water is flowing. Do you have a picture of that? I'd hold it up. Do you have a picture of that? Get a picture of it, please. You know, we had a little skirmish in California. I can't believe we had to do that, but we opened up the water in California. The water was flowing into a place called the Pacific Ocean, which for the Pacific Ocean is only a drop. But for us, it's more water than we can use in California. So I'll get you some photographs, but it's a beautiful sight. The water is flowing in California. Beautiful water from the Pacific Northwest and beyond. And it flows down, and instead of being routed out to the Pacific Ocean, and this has been going on for 20 years more in order to take care of a certain species of fish, which wasn't doing very well without water, I can tell you. So that's a big deal. It's like not reported. It's incredible. But California has a lot of water. That's going to take care of farmers. It's going to wetten up the land. And it's going to go all the way down to Los Angeles, where they have curfews on water, where they have all sorts of blocks on water. You can only use so much. We're going to put until just recently, they were going to put a number of gallons per person living in a house in Beverly Hills on water. You're not going to have that problem anymore. Do you have a picture? Let me just see what that looks like. How beautiful is that? Look at that beautiful water flowing. Look at that. That's coming in the dikes and other means of transportation. Isn't that beautiful? Who would believe that? That's all water they could have had. I went to the governor during my first term and I said, why don't you do this? And they said they have an environmental problem with clean water. If this water were there, you wouldn't have had those fires. You had sprinklers. They make people put sprinklers in the ceiling of a home, and they had no water in them. With this, they would have had a lot of water in them. They would have all been full. That would have had you would have had a whole different deal down there. You probably wouldn't have had a fire, but if it was, it would have been small, would have been put out. You had the fire hydrants not working in California. So it's a beautiful site. These are canals that were built. These were all built. And you saw them for years. They were empty, concrete. They call them the V-shapes or the half pipes. And they're shaped different forms, but they're shaped, and they rush down through the farm areas where the farmers can take it, and down to Los Angeles. And they were sitting empty for years. And now look at that. Look at that way it looked. It wasn't easy. We had to be very unfriendly to get into those areas. We opened it up.
Mr. President.
I essentially attacked California. Can you believe it? I attacked California. Let's go.
At the outset of your
Now Canada relies heavily on the US for defense, which he thinks is unfair to the US taxpayers. By joining the US, Canada would not only save on security costs, but they'd also gain the full benefits of American defense infrastructure. But of course it wouldn't be all about benefits for Canada. Trump says that the US could gain more control over resources like oil, lumber, and even the manufacturing of goods like cars. Interesting, right? So what do you think? Is Canada really considering becoming the 51st state? Would it make sense for Canada to join the US for lower taxes and better security, or would it just create more problems? This is a huge topic with so many layers to unpack, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. Drop your comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so you stay updated on all things politics and more.